Nobody can sell your product better than you. I don't care how big or small you think you are. You need to understand the value of your product or your service. Understand your market plus your competition. The psychology of buying. How can you apply that psychology to your already existing products? Wow, it's so nice to be here. We are so happy to be here to spend this time with you. It's going to be a fantastic day. Can you give yourselves a round of applause for being here? Well done. Honestly, well done. I'm so proud of you. You know, it's a Saturday morning. I know your businesses need you. I know your families need you. You could have even decided to sleep in if you wanted to. But you said to yourself, you know what, today I am going to invest in my business. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to show up. And I'm going to pour into myself. So I want you to know that before we've even started, I am so, so proud of you. Are you ready to monetize today? Yes. Turn to your neighbor and say, I'm ready to monetize. I'm ready to monetize. Fantastic. You know, today's conversation is an important one. Ne? We are talking about pricing for profit. And pricing is a major issue for a lot of us as business owners. So it's important for us to have this conversation. Throughout the session of this masterclass, and even later on when we have a fireside chat with Coach Nzwaki, we have a roaming mic. That roaming mic means that it is not just a conversation that Hetty is having. This is a two-way street. If we talk about something and you're like, no man, I need more clarity, or I need you to go deeper, or how does this impact my business? Raise your hand. Do not be shy. The roaming mic will come to you and we can unpack further and have the conversation, because this is our time together. This is your time. All right, are we in agreement? Good, excellent. So pricing for profit is an important conversation we need to have, because we work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and often at times, sometimes a person will say, you're Hetty. You know, I started my business. I was pricing very low because I didn't have clients. Nobody knew about my business. And so I thought, let me start with a low price. And then I can start, you know, getting some customers. And once I've got those customers, I can begin increasing my price. Now that I want to increase my price, they're complaining. But how? I didn't say your price was this. Now, Manja, why is it changing? And I don't know what to do. Others are saying, you're Hetty. You know, I am offering a premium product and service. But every single time I go out there and I show people my products and my services, they ask me how, but why is it so high? And they don't realize that this is premium. I'm putting in lots of effort. I'm giving them bonuses. The quality is so much better than the other places they can buy. What must I do? And some of you may be here and you're just starting out your business and you're thinking and wondering to yourself, how do I even begin with my pricing in the first place? So no matter where you may fall in this, the whole purpose of our conversation today is to unpack these challenges so that we can get to the bottom of it. We want by the end of this workshop for you to feel empowered with regards to your pricing. All right. So I'm going to share, before we go deep into strategy, because we will go deep, né? But before we can walk, we must first crawl, right? So crawling means we must understand the basic fundamentals when it comes to pricing. And some of these things, they're obvious, but they're not so obvious. And sometimes we also need to be reminded, all right? So the very first thing, and please write down, take videos, do whatever you need to do, so that when you go back home and you are letting today marinate in your spirit, you can go back to your notes and remind yourself of what we have learned. Point number 1 is that you need to understand the value of your product or your service. Remember, there is a cost for you to make your product or your service, or for you to stock your product or your service. That is the one cost. The other cost is how other people perceive your product or your service. And those are two different things. Are we together? I once spoke to an entrepreneur who said to me, Haiti, there's this product, I go to Chinatown, I get it for 50 Rand. It's okay, great. So I want to sell it for 80 Rand. I said, okay, 30 Rand profit margin, not too bad. Then I asked, how much are other people selling this product in the marketplace? They're making so much money. They're selling it for 200, 250. So then I said, so if people are buying it for 200 and 250, it means that the market perception of the value of this product is higher than what you are willing to pay for it. You are looking and saying, you know what, it's only 50 Rand. So if I sell it for 80, at least I've made something. You have lost something there. You have lost the ability to understand the value of what you are offering. Do you know the value of what you are offering? Do you know what are the things that determine the value of what you are offering? Do you know that there are things you can buy cheaper in Pretoria CBD? You lift that very same thing. You don't change it, ne? You lift it, and then you go to Mainland and you put it there and you can charge double the price. Has the product changed? No, it hasn't. What has changed? The perceived value of that product. So depending on location and depending on the market, you can be able to either charge higher or charge less. So when you are pricing your product, don't just look at the cost of getting the product at the factory, from your supplier, or making the product yourself. There is that cost, but there is also the perceived value. And if you miss it, that is when we get the problem of underpricing. Are we together? So it is important for us to start thinking to ourselves, what is the perceived value of my product? The other thing that we need to learn to do around this is you need to be able to tell other people about the value of your product. This thing of saying, no, my product sells itself, my work speaks for itself. Which work speaks for itself? Which one? You speak for yourself. You market your product. You are the chief marketing officer of your business. Nobody can sell your product better than you. I don't care how big or small you think you are. You must be able to tell us why we should buy from you and not your next door neighbor. And if you cannot tell us about your business, you are just a well-kept secret. That's it. Who goes into business to be a secret? Make a decision that you are going to learn how to speak about your business. It doesn't matter if you're shy. Find a way that makes you comfortable to talk about what you do to anyone at any time. If you are standing in the line at ShopRite Checkers, you must be able to tell those people in the line about what you do. If you come today to monetize your business workshop, you must be able to say, you know what, I'm not leaving here until I have told at least 3 people about what I do. That is when you are operating as a sales agent and chief marketing officer of your business. If you cannot sell your own product, nobody will. And you know, in life, there are people where we buy from them because of the confidence they have in their business. They are so confident that you feel like, you know what, I trust this person. And sometimes people are buying because of your energy more than even the product itself. And once they've used the product and they've loved the product, then they convert and come back. So please, let us work around the confidence around our business. What makes what you are offering unique? Learn it. Practice in front of the mirror if you need to, until it becomes something that comes naturally to you. If I wake you up in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock in the morning and you say, hey, what is the unique selling proposition? What makes your business unique? You must be able to tell me immediately. Immediately. That is how much it must run through your system. The next thing you need to be able to do is you need to be able to understand your cost and your break-even analysis. Your cost and your break-even analysis. Often at times, what we will do is we will look at the cost of acquiring the product. Whether we buy it somewhere, whether we get it in bulk from our supplier, or whether we are making the product ourselves. And we say that is the cost. And then we will say, so if the cost is 50 Rand, we say our cost is 50 Rand. Therefore, if I sell it for 100 Rand, I make 50 Rand. Are we together? That is how most people will calculate it. But here is where the problem comes in. Often at times we do not factor in all of the actual costs that it takes for us to actually create our product and hand it over to our customer. So that 50 Rand is not really 50 Rand. You've got your cost to get your product and create it. You haven't calculated your petrol cost or your taxi cost to actually get there and get your product. You haven't calculated your electricity cost. You haven't calculated your packaging cost. Some of your products, they need to go into containers. They need to go into some kind of packaging. They need to go into a plastic bag. Maybe you've got delivery costs. You haven't calculated that. You haven't calculated how long do you spend on Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, wherever else to advertise your product. How much are you spending on airtime? You haven't calculated that. So what ends up happening is from that 50 Rand that you think is yours, 10 Rand goes to transport, 5 Rand goes to electricity, 6 Rand goes to airtime. Before you know it, I'm selling at 10 Rand, kanjani? Why am I left with 10 Rand? Because you did not calculate all of the costs that are involved in actually producing this particular product. And then because you're trying to prove yourself, you even say to your customer, no, don't worry, I'll deliver for free. Deliver for free, Gopi.
What about the petrol?
Deliver for free where? Deliver for free, Nko. So, we have to make sure that we calculate all of our costs. Because what ends up happening is you find yourself working hard, but at the end of the day, you are tired and you don't see where your money has gone. And it is demotivating. So to really, really calculate how much you are going to get at the end of the day, make sure that you have factored in all of your costs and build in some room, build in some fat. All right? Because there are always unforeseen circumstances along the way. Your supplier increases their price, that impacts on your cost. Petrol price goes up, taxi fare goes up. Electricity goes up, it impacts on your ability to make your product. So there are so many factors that are happening around you that impact on your ability to produce your product. Give yourself some space, some leeway, so that when those things happen, you are then you don't find yourself in a negative position. All right. The next thing you want to do is that you want to understand your market plus your competition. Understand your market and understand your competition. Understanding and studying your competition is not so that you can copy them. No. It is so that you can understand the environment in which you are operating. How do you compare with your competitors? Are you on the same level as them? Are you below them? Or are you planning to be completely above them? Where do you stand? What can you do better than your competitors? Where is there an area that they have overlooked that you can go and fill in the gap? So it's important to understand the environment that you are working in so that you can be able to stand out from the crowd. Understanding your market is important. If you think that your business is to sell to everybody, let me tell you something. You will sell to nobody. Yes, I needed to marinate because I'm being very serious now. If you think you are going to sell to all 50 million South Africans, you are going to sell to nobody. You must know who you are selling to. Because when you know who you are selling to, you are able to produce a product that serves them 100%. But if you think you're going to satisfy everybody, you end up satisfying nobody. I often use the example of a white t-shirt. Ne? So let's say there are two shops, Mr. Price and Ralph Lauren. Both of them sell white t-shirts. So the person that goes to Mr. Price to buy a white t-shirt, maybe for 30 rands, they're getting a white t-shirt. It's convenient, it's affordable, they're able to wear it, and off they go about their day. The person that goes to Ralph Lauren to buy a t-shirt is not just buying a t-shirt. They're not just buying a t-shirt. On that t-shirt is a horse. There's a horse. When that person enters a room and people see that horse, it is already communicating a message. I've arrived. I'm successful. I can afford. Nani, you treat them differently than law or a t-shirt Mr. Price, be honest. Because they are showing up differently. So did they both just buy a white t-shirt? No. Mr. Price understands that they are selling affordability and they are selling convenience. Ralph Lauren knows that they are selling status and they are selling a message. So my question therefore to you is, what are you selling? Are you really selling hair food? Or are you selling confidence in someone being able to restore their hairline? about it. Because when you understand your customer and what is motivating them to buy from you, you can leverage that in your marketing, you can leverage it in your advertising, you can leverage it in your messaging, you can leverage it in how you talk to them. But if you do not know what is motivating your audience to buy from you, you just put it there and say, my product is good, it will sell itself. How? Tatawe, namani. Must be nice. When even Ackermans advertises to you, where now you feel that you don't need to advertise to anybody. Hey, kumnandi mhlabeni. Guys, we must learn to understand our market, and we must learn to understand how to sell to that particular market. We are not trying to sell to everybody. We are trying to sell to the right people who see value in what we are selling and can afford what we are selling. Note that I am saying not everything has to be high priced. If you know that you are selling to a price environment or market where the pricing is low, there's nothing wrong. Remember, both Mr. Price and Ralph Lauren are successful businesses. None of them are going out of business, but each of them have understood who they are selling to. The product is the same, but the market is different. And therefore, how they market, how they advertise, and how they message to their audience is different. Are we together? So this is very, very important for you to be aware of. The next thing I want you to consider is the psychological pricing techniques. Buying and selling is psychology, my friends. Buying and selling is psychology. All of us make purchases from an emotional standpoint. If your boyfriend breaks up with you, I promise you, you're going to buy useless things that you don't need, and then you regret it later. If you go grocery shopping and you're hungry, you're going to fill the cart with things you don't need, with things you don't even need, because it's now your stomach speaking. So you need to understand the psychology of buying and selling so that you can appeal to that psychology. If you look at the insurance industry, they are so good with that. They have understood, especially those with funeral policies. Hey guys, they keep reminding you that you're going to die. They keep reminding you that time is running out and you don't want to leave your loved ones with a burden. Do you know what's interesting? You die once, ne? Mara, some of you have 10 funeral policies. But you die only once. Why do you need 10 of them? Because that psychology has been drained into us so much that we buy more than we need for one thing. That is the psychology of buying and selling. What is the psychology that applies to what you are selling? Because if you understand that psychology, you can use it in your pricing. There's a big difference between selling something for 99 Rand and selling it for 100 Rand. When you sell it for 99 Rand, you're able to say, you can get this for less than 100 Rand. That 1 Rand can now become a marketing strategy, that 1 Rand difference. So understanding the psychology is very, very important. If you are launching a new product or hosting an event, you can incentivize people for buying from you early, pre-ordering your product, or buying tickets to your event early. We call it early bird. So the earlier you buy it, the cheaper it is. The later you buy it, the more expensive it is. Who doesn't want something at the cheapest price possible? So always think to yourself, what is the psychology I want to apply to my products and the pricing of my products? Maybe I can bundle some of my products. Instead of selling them each one, if I bundle them together and say, you know what, if you buy all 3 of these, you actually get it cheaper. Who doesn't want to save a buck? So please always think of the psychology of your products. I remember even during COVID when we were selling our African print clothing, we'd often say, you know, this dress is beautiful, but if you buy the matching shirt, we'll give you free cloth mask. The cloth mask did not cost us a lot of money to make, but because we were adding something to what they would purchase, we found the sales of our shirts going up. The psychology of buying. How can you apply that psychology to your already existing products? Please think about that. The next thing, and one of the final points that I want to make, is looking at the common mistakes that we make when it comes to pricing. One of the biggest mistakes that we make as entrepreneurs is that we do not have confidence in our pricing. We do not have confidence in our pricing. When we ask you, how much is this? Oh, hey, it's 60 rand.
Okay, thanks.
Haibo. If you are not confident in what you are selling, who must be confident for you? Who must be confident for you? You need to be confident in your pricing, and you need to be able to sit in your pricing and justify your pricing. If somebody asks you, why is it at this particular price? You need to be able to tell them, well, the reason it is at this price because unlike the other products in the market, this one actually lasts you longer. So I know it looks like you're paying more upfront, but you are going to have this for double the time. So you don't need to buy it again in 6 months' time. This one is good quality. Look, if I drop it on the floor, it doesn't break. I see you've got small children. You don't need to worry about this breaking. Being able to justify your price with confidence is very important. Because do you know what happens when you are confident about your product and you are able to convey that to others? Your customer also becomes confident. And when your customer becomes confident, they brag about you. Yo, that jacket in 2,000 mara. It's going to last me the whole of winter. It's going to last me so long. I'm even going to give it to my kids. They're going to inherit it. Where do you think those words are coming from? They got it from you when you were selling to them. You have transferred your confidence onto them. So please be confident in your pricing. You also need to learn the art of negotiation. There will always be that customer who wants to negotiate with you, who wants to say no and discount. So have a set policy and strategy for when you give discount. You don't give discount in J&J. No, if you buy 2 or more, I can give you a discount. So now you are incentivizing them to buy more in order for you to be able to give them something. It's a two-way relationship. Learn the art of negotiation, and let me tell you something. It's not something that just comes easily to all of us. I know I'm saying it and it sounds easy, but it's not easy. That's why when you go home, I need you to practice. Practice. Practice in front of the mirror. Practice with your friend. Practice not dali wako uti. Baby, today we are not watching Muvango. We are going to practice the art of negotiation. Practice and let's role play. That's what you need to do. This is very, very important. Have a standard way that you respond to discount requests and things like that. so that it doesn't end up stressing you out. Am I making sense? You guys haven't asked any questions so far. Is there anybody that feels like there's a question that they would like to ask? Feel free to raise your hand and the roaming mic will come to you. We will dig a lot deeper into strategy as we go along. We will have a fireside chat with Coach Nzwaki where we will go a little bit deeper into strategy. If you're feeling shy now to ask a question, write your question down so that when we do the fireside chat and the mic is going around, we can be able to come to you and answer your question. How many of you are feeling like you're seeing a little bit of a light in the tunnel regarding your pricing? Okay, good. Because that is the important thing. You know, we've reached the time of the year where we are nearing festive. Black Friday is coming. Some of you might be having some sales. Festive season is coming. There's always festive sales. But it is also a time for us to reflect. The best time of the year to increase your pricing is starting off in the new year. You know that you're starting off the new year with your new pricing. So it's a good time of the year to go back and just review and say, am I pricing for the perceived value in the marketplace? Have I factored in all of my costs? Am I coming across confidently in my pricing? Am I selling to the right target audience? Or do I either need to change my pricing or change my audience? Am I myself confidently selling my products and services? Am I utilizing every opportunity that exists for me to tell people about my business? Or am I still operating from a place of being shy or imposter syndrome? Do I need help with that? And where can I seek that help? What are some of the psychological pricing techniques that I can use in my business? So these are some of the takeaways that I want you to start to think about as we begin to wrap up this masterclass session. And when you go home, especially with the notes you've taken, you can now be able to sit down and reflect upon some of these pointers, all right? And then when we come back with the fireside chat, we will continue the conversation. We will, of course, have a guest expert with us, and then we will be able to unpack further. Okay, so at this particular juncture, I want to thank you. I hope this was a good masterclass for you, and I'm going to hand back over to Papa Biz. Thank you.